Hey everybody, Edo here, and today I'm going to mix it up by reviewing not one, not two, but three games by Daniel Solis. These are self-published on DriveThruCards, DriveThru Games. I'll link it below, but Daniel you'll hear about all the time. He has got this full line of games he does on his own. Super interesting, fantastic designer. But he also designed Kodama, which came from one of these games, Kigi, which became Kodama, Tree Spirit. Fantastic design. I reviewed it this year. And he also did the graphic design for The Great Dinosaur Rush, amongst other things. So, super talented dude. And anyway, let's just get into it. So we've got 10 Pen. This is a super simple dexterity game where each player is sending a little tribe of penguins across the table. You're flicking it in a line, and all of these rewards are in a stack. And the player who gets, it's sort of like a shuffleboard, the player who's the closest gets the first one, and then, everyone goes, and then for the amount of players that aren't on the table, or otherwise you're going to reveal a bunch of goodies, and then whoever's closer gets to pick first, second, third. Again, it's a little harder than you'd think. It certainly works. It's fun, easy to explain. There's an advanced mode or a variant where you put things on the table. I think you got to do that. That makes a huge difference and adds a lot to it. They can be like cell phones or pens or quarters or whatever. Quick, fun, simple dexterity game. You can play it just about anywhere. You do need a little bit of a sizable table, but it doesn't have to be huge. Good fun in 10 Pen. Moving along, and I mean, this guy's got, like, this is 3 games. I want to say he's got 30, right? Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but there's a ton. So then we have I Cant Even with these monsters. Now, he also likes to do these sort of series of games. There's the, like, I Cant Even set, and then there's some other ones, like the Trickster set, and he'll mix and match with themes. I Cant Even, I believe it says here, these series all have odd score wins. So if you're trying to, you're playing and playing and playing, you get 100 points, but I get 97. I'm going to win because only odd points count. It's sort of weird, but it works. This game's pretty easy. You are going to have a hand, and basically you're playing these monsters to a bank, and the art is fantastic, super fun, and each of these monsters basically award you points in the bank. So you're going to have a face one up and one face down. Everyone else does, and you go around taking from another player. The one you take goes into your hand, the other one goes into that player's bank for scoring. So in terms of scoring, it's stuff like werewolf, score 1 per face-up werewolf in any bank. The blob has escalating, so it's set collection, has escalating points 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 for the amount that you have in your bank. The ghost is worth, lose 3 if it was face-up, score 3 if it was face down when you had it in the pit. The Frankenstein guy gives you a point for every different type. The zombie scores 1 per previous round, so every round it's worth more. And so what's interesting about this is you're trying to build up your score, build up your score, build up your score, but then you've got this needs to be odd thing, and it was sort of strange because that really starts to kick in the second or final. Like early on you're just trying to maximize points, but right at the end you were sort of, the last 2 rounds are all about like, how do I score more, but make sure it's odd, which is, I haven't ever played a game like that before. It's neat, it's fun, it's quick. I really like the graphic design and art on this one. It's fun. It's most fun in those last 2 rounds. But that is I Cant Even with these monsters. All right, last up on the trio of games is Curse You, Robin Hood. And Curse You, Robin Hood First has absolutely stellar art. I mean, they're all good, but this one, it has the sort of fun standard deck art with the different sort of poker card images, and they're just all stellar. And then it's got really good character art for the different characters. And the thing about this game, that works so well is it's 1 to 6 players, and it has really specific rules on how all the AI players work, and each AI player who you put into the game works differently. So I almost think the goal here was to say, like, how could I make a big game with lots of AI that really plays well? And he does it here. Super simple pub game, basically there's a bunch of these goods in the middle. You're trying to get the most points, and each of the goods has a number of targets on them. They're a little hard to see probably on the table, and I know most of this is off screen, but if you see here, they're like right at the top. But basically, the player who has the most targets in a certain suit, so like in the bread suit, doesn't gain any points. So essentially, you're trying to not, and obviously the cards that are worth more have more targets. So 1 has no targets, 10 has 3. So you're trying to build up some points, but you're trying to stay below everyone else. The way it works is everyone's going to flip a card, and the highest card and the lowest card have to swap, and the other players can then, I think if you have the same suit, you swap, that might be wrong, lowest, highest, suit, and if you don't, then you can trade for the middle, and then you just pick up whatever you want. But the way the AI could work is sometimes they'll play a card face down, or they'll play it face up, so you have that information, but then there are other ones who play a card face down, or face up, or face down, but based on what other people play, they didn't switch. So there's this like bluffing of the AI players. It works really well. It's quick, it's fast. This is a really simple game. You're basically just trying to, bluff and push the limit to get the most points without essentially going over on targets. But it's quick, it's fast, and certainly has some interesting dynamics. None of these are real mind melders. I Cant Even's a little mathy. It's a little mathy because you're like, even, odd, even, but it works. I almost want to go say, if you went into drive-thru games and picked any of this guy's stuff, it would be valuable. I mean, it'd be interesting, it'd be fun. I haven't played a game of his I didn't like. Some are better than others. But anyway, here are 3 to start. 10 pen, I Cant Even with these monsters, and curse you, Robin Hood. All right, so subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.